it's Steph from Wild Fox Stitchery here. I am going to attempt to film a Stitch With Me video today, and I'm going to do actually a brand new start on a pattern charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. It is called Mini Once Upon a Time. The artwork is by Ann Stokes. Yes, that's who the artwork is by. So it's a brand new start. I've already marked off a place here where the first square is. I'm actually going to start at the bottom left corner so that I can work up to the girl first quicker than starting in the top right or the top left corner, which I normally would start in because that's just a lot of background up there. So I decided this time I'm going to start in the bottom left corner. I've marked off the first full square here. The bottom row of pages are only partial pages, and then I see on the pattern that it doesn't end on a full square. It ends about 4 rows down into the next square. So I have my needle here where I'm going to start my first stitch, and then this fabric is a 1/8 of a yard, and so this pattern fits on here, but I only have 2 inches of a border on this side over here. So you probably can't tell because I'm zoomed in, but there is a much narrower border than I'm used to. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to do this. This is a 28 count fabric. And I am doing a 10 stitch, and it looks like the first few stitches will be in this gray. I might have to move my needle minder because it's going to be in the way. So I usually stitch randomly. If you see me stitching, you might be like, why is she going that way? Why is she stitching the stitches in that direction? I try to do my half cross stitches where I start in the top right and go down to the bottom left like this. So obviously every other row would be an actual 10 stitch. Oh, I can't get it through here. What's going on? I'm really close to the hoop here, so it's kind of making it a little bit more difficult to get going. I really hope you can see what I'm doing. I can see my camera, but there's a button on the screen right over where I'm stitching. So I usually go square by square for the 10 or the 100 stitch squares in the grid. Sometimes I go up and down the rows like I am now. Sometimes I'll switch and I'll go back and forth across this way on the rows. Just depends on what works best at the time when I'm stitching it. Like I said, there's no order. It's chaos. I probably will never show anyone the backs because the backs are also chaos. Probably. I travel fairly far. I don't mind traveling. I'll travel all over the place on a page. So this I'm stitching for Jen's birthday stitch along. October 6th is her birthday. Happy birthday, Jen. And she wanted people to stitch on something with a dragon. So I've had this pattern from Heaven and Earth Designs for a long time in my stash. And I thought it would be the perfect time to get it out and work on it. You might hear my kids in the background, most likely. They get kind of loud. I have 3 boys. They're all middle schoolers. 2 of them are twins. And for some reason, they just don't seem to get along very well most of the time. So as you can see, this very first row is only 4 stitches high here. So I've come to the end of that first block with this color. I'm going to mark it off on my markup RXP here. And move on to the next one. I have been generally going cross country by page. So I'll pick a color and then just fill it in across that page. Generally seems to work for me right now. I have done parking before, but I just don't think I will. But then I say that and you never know, I might go back to it, who knows. My plans are always changing. Oh, you also might hear some noises in the background. I'm in my office and I have 2 chinchillas in the office with me. Sometimes they get quite noisy. I don't know if they'll make this noise, but sometimes they'll randomly make it's a really funny sounding noise. If you've never heard it, it sounds almost to me like an evil clown laugh. It's just weird. It's hard to describe. I don't know if you can YouTube funny chinchilla noises, but you might get an idea. Maybe they'll do it while I'm stitching and you can all hear. That would be funny. They just randomly make these weird noises to mark off where I am here so I don't get lost. We also have 3 dogs. And that is the reason the chinchillas are in the office with the door closed all the time. The dogs, 2 of the dogs, go completely insane when they see them and give them a panic attack practically. So we cannot let the dogs in the office except for the corgi. My corgi Finn follows me around everywhere. And especially as I don't know, these last couple of weeks, he's really been following me everywhere. For some reason, he's not in here right now. Normally he's in the office with me, laying right by me. He didn't get in here this time, I guess. Follows me into the bathroom, follows me into the bedroom. It's a very loyal dog to me. It's funny. Corgis are funny. They're like the police dog of the dog world, I guess. I've heard that, and it's true. Because anytime if the boys are downstairs and we raise our voices to yell down, "Hey boys," he always has to join in and help. He barks. He knows we're trying to get their attention. And when they were younger, if they would get in trouble or something, he would try to help us out. Which it's not a good thing because sometimes he would try to nip at them. As you know, corgis are herding dogs too, so he tries to herd the other two into behaving too when he knows they're being naughty. We have a beagle and a labradoodle. Those are the two dogs that go nuts about the chinchillas. The beagle taught the labradoodle that. The labradoodle would have been fine if she hadn't learned that from the beagle. I'm sure she's learned a lot of naughty things from him. Like digging to get out of the yard. He taught her that. Luckily, she doesn't bark when people come to the door. The other two are bad about that. She's not a barker. And her hair isn't everywhere. The one nice thing about labradoodles, compared to the corgi and the beagle who shed everywhere. I think I'm going to end this thread because it's getting a little short here. So I don't know if this is the proper way to end it, but that is how I do it. And hopefully my stitching doesn't fall apart later on. Mark off the stitches I've done here. I have a noisy chair if you hear creaking and cracking in the background too. We've oiled it, but it doesn't help very long. I always notice it when I'm doing floss tube videos. Normally I don't notice it otherwise, how loud it can be. Then I'm editing the videos and I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty loud noise. So I have this stand that oh, there's a thread coming up, that I've only recently started using. I just got it. Let's see if I can find it with to pull it down. Otherwise I'll do that later. Maybe not. Well, that's gonna bug me, but I can get it later. Oh, I'm kind of getting it there. Yeah, it's getting smaller. Go on now. Okay. Good enough for now. So anyways, I got this stand very recently in the last couple months, and I've had to learn how to use it because I was used to, of course, flipping the hoop back and forth, you know, for ending threads and starting threads. So I had to learn how to end and start from the front. And now I really don't like working without the stand. It's hard to hold the hoop. My hand kind of cramps up and it's just not as comfortable. So I've really gotten used to using the stand. And it's really made a difference. And it's a nice, it's a small wooden stand. It didn't cost much on Amazon. It was like 30 bucks, something like that. And it seems to work really well for what I need. It's a little low. I have to lower my chair. Maybe that's my problem. I haven't lowered my chair yet. Let's see if that helps. Okay, that should help. So I have to lower my chair lower than I normally have it at my desk, just because it's slightly lower than is comfortable. But when I bring it out, like I can easily carry it around. I can bring it out to the living room and sit in the chair out there, and it's actually just the right height there. So it's been a great purchase. So I was thinking lately of how many full coverage I have. I have a spreadsheet where I keep track of all my projects. And projects that I want to start. I have the pattern, I have the fabric, I just haven't started them yet. I don't know if I'll tell you the number because it will probably scare you away, but I have a bunch of full coverage that I want to get started before the end of the year. So there's probably going to be a lot of new starts in the next couple months. Especially next month. Next month is my birthday month, and I'm like, why not start all the things? I'm also going to start my first fancy lady, a Mirabilia. And I have a long dog sampler. I've been planning on starting. I've been saving it all year to start on my birthday. I'm so excited about it. It's another big one. It's the Act of God one, which is huge if you know anything about long dog samplers. And I have this beautiful piece, huge piece of 20 count Ada. I believe it's 20 count Ada, but it's dyed in like a really pretty color. So I'm gonna do black, just do black 310 for the whole thing, which is a first, I think, for me. Usually I do different colors for long dog samplers, and that's the fun part. But now the fabric will be colorful, so I can just do 310 for the whole thing, and I am assuming it's gonna look amazing in the end. It'll probably make it go quicker too without having to figure out, okay, this part of the pattern is going to be this color. Now I have to watch and switch colors here. Makes it a lot more time consuming. So yeah, my first fancy lady. I might do a little bit of a stitch along with that if anyone else wants to, who hasn't started a fancy lady before. I think my friend Luminea has one that she's going to start with me. It doesn't have to be a Mirabilia. Wow, that's hard to say. It could be any fancy lady. So I plan on working on that on every Monday till it's done. I hope I like it. I've never done one before, and like I said, I really like full coverage better than anything else at the moment. It's hard for me to want to work on anything else besides full coverage right now. But I have a lot going on that aren't full coverage, so I can't just abandon them all. Plus more planned. A few more planned, not that many. I've almost gotten to the end of my planned new starts once we get through the full coverage ones. Oh dear, I think I messed something up here. Hold on, I have to mark off what I've done. And this one, this. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some reverse stitching. Or luckily I haven't gotten too far. See if I can pick these out. It's always hard to pick them out on this small count of fabric. Well, it's got to be this one. There we go. Already making mistakes. Only a few stitches in. Okay. This one, or was it this one? Has to be this one. Nope, pretty tight. Yeah. This is when I should maybe take it off and look at it. Well, why is this not working? It's got to be this one, right? Oh, look, there we go. Now the thread starts fraying. Okay, I think I'm almost done picking them out. Let's see. See, this is what happens when I talk too much when I'm stitching. Maybe I shouldn't do stitch with me videos. Come on. There we go. I'm just going to leave it now. Good enough. I'll have to grab my needle threader so I can get this back on the needle. So normally I'm a thread licker, as terrible as that is. I don't even want to admit it, but I am. I'll have to go ahead and get this one threaded with a needle threader though, because it's fraying so much. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that the way it is, except for I'm gonna go back down here. Okay. So I think this will work to funge it. I don't know. It's kind of all messed up here. Let's go to the corner and start there. It's probably just a bunch of grays down here anyways, so it won't matter too much. Okay. Am I back on track? Hopefully. So I wanted to start, today is Saturday, by the way. I'm starting this a little early. It was supposed to start on Monday, but I wanted to get this filmed. And I just filmed my floss tube video update for the week. So I thought now would be the perfect time to do this real quick. And get some of this stitching time in. I wanted to start an Amy Stewart piece. I don't have it yet, but I'm waiting for the fabric. It's a stitch along that Slow Stitch Yogi is doing, and that group is starting it today. She's actually doing a 10-hour live marathon, which is crazy, but awesome. Where they're all gonna start it, and I was hoping to start too, but I don't have my fabric till Monday, so that's fine. I will just have to wait, and I'll start this one instead. Luckily this one's a mini, so it won't be as big. Pretty soon I'll have to end this thread. Yep, probably right now. Okay, let me mark those off so I don't get lost. As you can see, I kind of just go everywhere. No real order sometimes. Okay, so now that I've got to the end of that thread, I'm going to go back, and now I can start, because I like working from left to right. I don't like working back from right to left, so I'm going to go back here and go this way with this same color. There are 635 more stitches of this color on this little partial page. This partial page is not very big. It goes up to, it's just this part here, slightly into the fourth one up there. So I plan on joining the live for Yogi's stitch along, but I'll do that later on. She's going 10 hours today. It started my time, it would have been 8 a.m., which is, it's 8:22 now, so it has already begun, and I still have to work out today. It's a Saturday. I'm not training for any runs right now, so I don't have to do long runs like I did all summer long. It took at least 2 hours every Saturday, which is kind of nice. That's kind of why I decided to do my floss tubes every week. So I'll go up this way. So I still need to keep up with the running, but I'll probably run 3 or 4 miles today. I also need to do a weightlifting type of workout. I try to do that at least 5 times a week now. That's something new. I didn't do that when I was training for running, which I should do it. I just don't have time for both all that running and weightlifting type things. But now I have more time for that with less running, so it will work out good. My last race that I was training for was a couple weekends ago. It was a half marathon in Sioux Falls. The weather was perfect. It went pretty well. My brother went down there with me, and he also ran it. There's a lot of people there. So we had to get there at I think it started at 7. So we left the hotel like 20 after 6. We had to be there before it starts so we can get warmed up and ready. And it took us like 15 minutes to get there across town, and then of course we're unfamiliar, and lots of streets are blocked off. There's people everywhere trying to figure out where to go. So we get dropped off because my dad was there, drops us off, and we start heading in. And I'm like, I asked him, because you have to have a bib. It's like the paper number that you pin to yourself, and it's got the timing chip in there. So you can't run the race without that. It's like probably the number one thing you should make sure you have. And turns out my brother had forgotten his at the hotel. And there was about 20 minutes left before the race started. So my dad was driving away. I told him, you better run and catch Dad so you guys can try to get back to the hotel, grab it, and get back here. I don't know. Somehow he ended up making it. He said, I started the race. He still wasn't there, but at least I assumed he still wasn't there because I hadn't heard from him. But we were standing in line about ready to run, and it was like 5 minutes to 7, and he's trying to call me, but the loudspeaker was too loud. I had no idea what he was. I told him, I can't hear you at all. Sorry. But apparently he ended up, it takes a while for all those people to get through the starting line, and so it's probably a good 10 minutes before everyone gets through, and there's so many people there. So he ended up making it. He was running across the parking lot just in time to be about the last person through the starting line. Luckily. So that's a lot of training for that many weeks, and then to miss the race, especially when you already were there. That would have been bad, but he made it. He finished it. My dad was watching, and he said even 20 minutes later, somebody came running up and joined in. They were that late. And my brother also said he was not the only one running to get to the starting line. There was one other guy who was also running with him across the parking lot. So that would stress me out so much. Nothing like that has ever happened. I am always prepared. And I hope nothing like that ever happens to me, because I would be so anxious. It would ruin the whole race. I've done a lot more races than my brother, so I guess he wasn't as prepared. I'm always the person who is at least 10 minutes early. If I'm not, I feel like I'm late. I missed a couple over here. So today after this, I have to do my workout and my run. I'll probably run on the treadmill. It's still almost 90 degrees this week, and it's the first week of October. And this is North Dakota. Normally, it's usually like in the 60s this time of year. And we've always been, when we go to the flag football games Saturday mornings, we've always been so cold by the end of the season. And today it's going to be almost 90. It's crazy. It's going to drop though tonight, I read. So I think we're going to get possibly some storms when that happens. But maybe we'll get some actual fall weather after this. I better mark off my stitches before I completely lose track again. It's my husband and I's anniversary this month, the end of October. So, and when we do gifts, he doesn't like to pick anything out. He just wants me to tell him what I want and he'll get it for me. Whoops, that was a messed up stitch. Oh no, messed it up even more. There, now you can't even tell. Anyways, so I'm trying to, like, obviously, I don't really need anything. I don't need, usually I would say cross stitch stuff, right? Like a pattern or something that I've been wanting. But I have too many already and I don't want any more. I've already got the ones I want to do. I got him something already. He loves the Patriots, so I got him their new, I can't remember what the jerseys are called, but there's a new jersey they have out this year. Special jersey. So he really wanted that, so I got him that. But I think I want to try, I've never done what is it called, where they print it on the fabric, stamp cross stitch kits. There's some really nice ones, and I don't want to order any from the UK right now, which is sad because that's where I know there's a couple really good companies over there. But I think I'm gonna order a couple. Well, I'll have my husband order them, I suppose, for my anniversary gift, and I'll give it a shot. Why not? Something new to try. I don't, the colors, the way they print them looks so confusing to me, but I think it'd be kind of fun to try. Just want to make sure I order a good quality one. Oh, I'm almost to the end of another thread here. After that, I'll probably have to stop because I've got a few things to do this morning. I think I will stop it here. And sometimes I would leave little tails sticking out and maybe put the tails further up and cut them off later, but lately I've just been cutting it off and letting it, I suppose, hang down in the back. I don't know, I try not to look at the back very often. So let me mark off the stitches I did here. I believe I did these. And wow, it is harder than I thought to keep track and also do this filming and talk. Normally I'm not sitting and talking, I'm just concentrating. Okay, so I think I've got them all, maybe. Maybe I'll have to take a look again, but yeah, so here is the start of a mini Once Upon a Time, starting in the bottom left corner, and I'll be working my way up here to the girl that's standing here, and then the dragon. So this right now is just a bunch of background. I suppose over here we'll get more to the clothing and the girl. It looks like, I'm looking at the picture now. So yeah, that I think is going to be the end of my very first Stitch With Me video, and I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, please go ahead and subscribe, and you can follow along to get updates. I will talk to you later. Bye!